Yo, what is good, YouTube? Welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, I want to talk about some predictions for content this weekend here in NBA 2K25 MyTEAM. Before we hop into the video, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help me push towards the 40,000 subscriber mark on the channel. I upload every single day, multiple videos a day. Would really appreciate it if y'all do subscribe. Without further ado, let's hop right into it and let's discuss some content predictions, because I do think there is a good chance of some really impactful content this weekend in the form of, I do think, a very good chance an event, but also likely some pretty good packs. Last week's drop, in all honesty, I think most people would agree, was a bit underwhelming. Two great Invincibles, of course, but number one, the Invincibles are extremely rare and extremely expensive, so people don't really get access to them anyways. So they're not all that exciting to, I think, the majority of the community. And number two, the rest of the drop just wasn't that good. Besides the Invincibles, like DeMar DeRozan, Ray Allen, and Rashard Lewis is probably the most underwhelming trio of 100 overalls you could pretty much get. Like, none of these cards are exceptional. Ray Allen's the only one who I would even consider good. The other ones I think are just downright not good cards. And then you get some good Dark Matters, don't get it wrong, especially guys like Franz and Sigma. Great cards, really good at their position. Every single Dark Matter was at least solid, but I don't feel like this is the same level of drop, despite good budget cards too. Evan Turner, Al Harrington, Jerome Kersey. Maybe I'm just spoiled at this point by some really interesting drops, but this doesn't personally to me scream, oh my gosh, best drop ever. You know what I mean? Especially with mediocre 100 overalls, the way that this one had. And so I think it would make a lot of sense, especially since we're probably going to get an event this weekend, that we get some really good cards. And whether those are event cards or pack cards, neither thing would surprise me, you know what I mean? But I definitely hope we see some high level cards this week and some really good Dark Matters potentially is really what I'm looking for. Maybe an actually interesting 100 overall or two that might be relatively affordable while still being really good cards. Because when you look at season 6, great 100 overalls here, out of position had great 100 overalls. Prime and Pantheon, not so much, but Signature Series was exceptional. Fan Favorites was exceptional. I mean, for the most part, we've gotten pretty good 100 overalls. Now, 2K certainly, I think, is more inclined to drop bad 100 overalls at this point, at times at least, but at the same time, I don't know, I'd like to see some good ones. That being said, number one for this weekend, I would really like to see another good big. I know we have a few. We have Dikembe, we have Mark Eaton, both of whom are nasty cards, really good high level options, and you got Wemby as well, but another one or two options won't hurt anybody, you know what I mean? We're in May. A Dark Matter, for example, Taco Fall, Dark Matter, George Merson, Dark Matter, Sean Bradley, Dark Matter, Rick Smits. Those are just some of the names that come to mind. Artist Gilmore, even. He's only 7'2". He might even be more realistic. Guys like that, to me, are the type of card I want to see, because as great as Dikembe is, and as solid as a guy like Mark Eaton is, and Wemby's still really good, although really expensive, the more high-level options we get to try to counter the 100 overall Yaos and Invincible Wembys and all the other probably ridiculous Invincible type cards that we are going to get over the next couple months, the better. As the more budget options and budget counters you have, the better. So those are some of the names to me that I'm really hoping we see at least one of this weekend in content. And then also, I feel like we could use a really nice wing. The small forward position is definitely not lacking for talent, but I do feel like I've kind of been recommending the same guys to people for a while. It's been Dark Matter Beasley, or if you don't want to spend that much, Andre Kirilenko, Luol Deng. Those are like my steady, consistent small forward recommendations. I would love to see a small forward with some more size. Now, realistically, that's probably not going to be a superstar caliber player from real life, unless they do some sort of out of position again, which I don't know if we're going to get. So to me, like, I would love to see a Dark Matter Jonathan Bender. That's a name who really pops into my mind, who I think would be an amazing Dark Matter card. He got a card. It was a really good card, but it was also a really good card in, I believe, season 4 was when did Jonathan Bender come out? I literally don't even remember what drop he was in anymore. It's been, wow, I must be a MyTEAM casual at this point, because I literally have no idea. Was he season 5? Dog, I don't remember when this card came out. I think it was season 4. Oh, it was season 5, Radioactive. Here we go. Yeah, I mean, that's a couple months ago at this point that this card came out. Like, I could totally see a higher tier Jonathan Bender dropping. And that's the type of card that'll be really, really nice, because again, some of the small forwards and some of the stuff you're going to play against, especially as the year progresses, like, I'm sure we're probably going to see an Invincible Bull at some point, or 100 overall Bull at some point who could play small forward. We're going to see some other stuff like that. We already have Giannis at small forward. Having guys with size is always nice, especially more affordable options. And a guy like Jonathan Bender would provide that type of option if you're going up against a Giannis or a Chris Webber or guys like that at the small forward position, let alone probably the the impending rush of continued cards kind of like them that we're likely to see. So that's another position I'd like to see upgraded. Another couple guys that I'd like to see as well. I mean, 100 overall Terry Dishinger would be interesting if he could play shooting guard. I don't know if that's a card we'll realistically get, but that would be a cool one. Rudy Gay, especially if he was shooting guard eligible, a dark matter Rudy Gay would be awesome. He hasn't gotten a card since his Galaxy Opal, which was in this unlimited set, so it's been a while for this card as well. I think he'd be really, really good, and I'd like to see, I mean, he's always great in 2K, obviously, already has good animations on his Opal. You touch a couple of the animations up, put him as shooting guard eligible, he might damn near be the best dark matter shooting guard in the game. That'd be a nasty card as well. Like, those are kind of the types of cards, types of names that I'd love to see this week. Although we did get a very shooting guard heavy drop last week, I would love to see, again, big men, small forward, and point guard would be nice too. Evan Turner was a good budget point guard last week. A couple weeks ago, obviously, we got the out of position drop, which had a bunch of dark matter point guards, none of which I like adore, but it's fine options, as well as Denny Avdia and Andrew Bogut. Both of them are really interesting cards positionally. In fact, I, like y'all see, have this Bogut card right here just to provide me with some size at the point guard position in the event that I need it, especially because I got this one as, like, at the time, the cheapest Bogut on the market for 65K with extra Hoff badges. I was like, and including on ball minutes, I was like, okay, yeah, I think that's a good price. And it looks like it is a good price because I could probably resell them for 75 to 80K, I would guess, especially with those extra Hoffs. So with that being said, those are the type of cards I'm looking for, because again, we need budget beasts. Dark matter and below, we need really good cards, especially that dark matter tier. That's the tier that I really want to see be elite. But, and I gave you a couple names of guys who could theoretically be hundreds overalls as well. I feel like 2K can always mix in kind of whoever they want at this point in the year when it comes to 100 overalls, because this last drop, I mean, realistically, there's DeMar DeRozan, Ray Allen, Rashard Lewis. Good players for sure, but not the superstar caliber names that we were getting for the most part. Tracy McGrady, Penny Hardaway, Yao Ming, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, even like JT and Edwards. Like, I feel like it was for a while kind of superstar names. These guys were at times superstars in their career for sure, but it's not as exciting of names. So I think 2K can kind of start putting whoever they want in 100 overalls, especially now that we're getting more and more of the Invincible cards. So give us good 100 overalls this week and I'll be happy. I don't even care who they are. Just make them solid cards so that we get a larger influx of good 100 overalls into the pool of cards you can get for free from free grindable 100 overalls and things like that. In addition to just potentially good cards for people who have MT saved up but don't want to pay for an Invincible but would be okay with paying 1 million MT for an elite 100 overall. I'd love to see cards like that as well. That being said, for the Invincible tier, I have 2 predictions because we're going to get 2 Invincibles at least. We'll get more if there's a festival, but we're going to at least get 2 in packs. And I think that those 2 Invincibles are going to be, just my personal opinion based on them not having had cards in quite a while, I'll start with the less exciting name, I guess, Kevin Garnett. Now, again, he fits that small forward mold at this point in the year. He's gotten small forward cards before. He's only 6'11" at power forward, and he also hasn't had a card since season 4, I believe. He was the Showstoppers, Dark Matter. We have not gotten a card since like the 3rd week, actually, I think the 2nd week of season 4, which was months ago. So he makes a lot of sense to me because he hasn't had a card in a long time, and he would absolutely fit that big small forward meta again, which is kind of why I see would love to see a dark matter big small forward as well. He's got some of that versatility in him. But KG, that's one of my predictions, and my prediction is that he's going to be a small forward, power forward. And then my other prediction, another guy who hasn't gotten a card in a while, and 2K kind of showed their hand last week with giving us Invincible Shaq after he'd already had 100 overall in the radioactive set. Another guy who fits that narrative and is due for a card because of the name, Michael Jeffrey Jordan. Like an Invincible Michael Jordan at point guard who's just the same card but better. Maybe even an even better release than the jumper he had, which certainly isn't a bad one, but you could probably make an even better one. You can give him perfect SIGs instead of some of the flaws that he has. SIGs wise, it's not as good of a size up, not as good of a behind the back, things like that. Like, there are things to improve upon with that card. And I think at the end of the day, number 1, he dropped the price of the 100 overall, which would be kind of nice. Number 2, he's kind of due for a card. And number 3, he'd be elite. I mean, it's the GOAT. He'd sell packs. 2K loves to sell packs. We know that. Like, at the end of the day, makes a lot of sense to me. It's just my opinion, but MJ feels like it's his time for this week to get a card either in an event or in packs, one way or another. With that being said, that is going to do it for the video. I hope y'all did enjoy. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with more 2K content very, very soon. I appreciate y'all. Peace.